From the same virgin that brought you 5 things Fortnite copied from Overwatch. Just the basic hero Mercy and Arc. Stars in the brand new video series. 5 things Valorant copied from Overwatch. So there's a new e-girl in school stealing all the gamer boys' hearts right before our very eyes. You guys might have heard of her name, but it's Valorant. But what makes Valorant so special is that she has all the good parts of all the amazing FPS games that are currently out on the market. You have the CSGO like gunplay, and you have the Overwatch heroes and abilities, and that's it. That's all the good FPS games out there. And while the CSGO equivalent might be blatantly obvious in Valorant, today what I want to do was talk about the things that Valorant copied from Overwatch's homework, and all she really did was change her name at the top of the page. Now, about 2 years ago, I had a very similar video series where I looked at things that Fortnite copied from Overwatch, but in that video series, I let everyone know that it was all just for fun. I was just kind of poking fun at Fortnite because it's not like Overwatch is the CEO of video games and they're the only ones that are allowed to do things. But it's kind of funny because the things that are referred to in Valorant, whether it's abilities or heroes, are referred to in the Overwatch terms. So let's finally look at those things that Valorant copied from Overwatch. Number 1, Sage's Barrier Orb and Mei's Ice Wall. When people first started to play Valorant and they picked up Sage and they saw that she had an ability that had an ice wall, everyone referred to it as the Mei Wall. I mean, what else are you gonna call it? The Sage Wall? Psh! What? The ice wall? Psh! What, the barrier? It was just fast and convenient to refer to it as a Mei Wall because we've all dealt with a Mei Wall at one point in our lives. And if you haven't, then lucky you. Everything from the material that it's made out of, how it appears on the map from the ground up, how you're able to rotate it every 90 degrees, how you're able to lift yourself up as Sage if you just stand underneath your ice wall, to even being able to break individual pillars. But what makes Mei Ice Wall a little bit better than Sage's Ice Wall, which is a total oxymoron, is that it doesn't last a whole 36 hours on the freaking map. You gotta shoot so many bullets into this ice wall just to possibly break one pillar. And then after that 36 years, that's when the Sage Ice Wall actually disappears. If you thought dealing with Mei's Ice Wall was annoying, trying to get to a health pack and your ally Mei just walls off the corridor that you're trying to get in, then you die, try dealing with a Sage Wall first and then come back to me. Honestly, Sage makes Mei look like a total angel in comparison. Number 2, Sova's Recon Bolt and Hanzo's Sonic Arrow. The Huntsman of Valorant takes a page right out of Hanzo's book where he's able to see the enemies through walls. Does that sound familiar? Oh yeah, that's the Sonic Arrow that has been a staple of Hanzo's toolkit ever since 2016. You know you copy an ability when people were referring to it as a Sonic Arrow like it's its official name. If you guys didn't know, the official name for this ability is Recon Bolt. Yet I see Valorant guides referring to it as a Sonic Arrow because for years we were just used to the Huntsman in Overwatch's ability where it was called Sonic Arrow. So another convenient and easy name to call this Recon Arrow. Now I'll admit there is a little bit of difference between Recon and Sonic Arrow, but it's very small. But when you're using the Recon Arrow, you do have to charge it up for a certain amount of time to be able to get the max amount of pulses to be able to see the enemy. It's not just a continuous see-through wall ability like how Sonic Arrow is. It goes in rows of 3. 1, 2, 3, and then that's all you get to see. Where Sonic Arrow, you're able to see the enemy move for a certain amount of time, and then it goes away. But what I just find so funny is that out of all people to give a Recon ability to, they decide to give the bow and arrow character a Sonic or Recon Arrow. It's like a double whammy copy. Not only is it an ability, but it's a whole entire character too. At least in Sage's case, they just copied the ice wall and another ability that we will get into later, and the fact that she is also Chinese, very similar to me. I forgot about that. But here, it's just another bow and arrow character. Like, really? That's what you could have come up with, Riot? Number 3, Phoenix's ult, Run It Back, and Tracer's Recall. If you want to talk about copy characters, then let's refer to Phoenix, because here, his ultimate Run It Back is the exact same idea as Tracer's Recall ability. But of course, the saving grace here is that this is Phoenix's ultimate, and it's not an ability, but the idea is still the same. Where you as Phoenix or Tracer are able to set an invisible beacon, progress throughout the map, and then if you get shot at, you're able to recall back. Now all the Phoenix mains might be screaming at their screens saying, but bro, you whack, this is an ultimate and this is a clone-like recall. This isn't a similar recall. Okay, but the fact that you're calling it a recall kind of points to the fact that this is probably a copied ability. Yes, you are able to be a lot more aggressive when you activate Phoenix's ultimate because you're able to run forward, and if you get shot at and die, then you can just go back to to the beacon with full health, and you are able to see where the enemy is sitting at. But isn't that the same exact idea whenever you have Tracer's recall available, where you want to get mixed in with the enemy, and if you get in the middle of harm's way, where you can just recall out of there with full health? Now, yes, you don't have like a second life, but the idea is still there. You be aggressive with Tracer whenever you have recall available, and when you have Phoenix ultimate available, then that's when you want to go in and clear hallways and just get shot at. But if that wasn't enough to convince you that Phoenix was a copy of Tracer, then let me just point out one other thing. They're both British.
Remember, stay out of the fire.
Tracer is obviously the one and only British character in video games, so Riot Games looked at her and decided, alright, we're gonna make a character like that and make him black. I hope people sense my sarcasm. Like, I'm just waiting for Phoenix's lore to come out for him to come out. Get it? Because Tracer's gay and Phoenix is probably gonna be gay, let's be honest with ourselves. Number 4, Jett's Tailwind and Tracer's Blink. Ah yes, another Tracer copy. Why not take the face of Overwatch and make it the mascot of your game, Valorant? Basically, Phoenix and Jett are the cover art girls for Valorant. It's gonna be even better if Phoenix does come out as gay. I mean, hey, Riot Games has an opportunity to be Blizzard to the punch. I mean, it's not like Overwatch has a trans character, so maybe they can make Phoenix trans. But we're not talking about Phoenix, we're talking about the other cover art girl, Jett, and her Tailwind ability, because the idea here is that you're able to go from one area to about 5 meters forward really fast with Jett. Same idea with Tracer. Now obviously there are some differences between Tailwind and Blink, where you are only able to use Tailwind once per round, where Tracer you are able to use Blink multiple times but in rapid sessions of 3, but that's just because of the given game modes in both of these games. If you just go and use infinite amount of Tailwinds, it's exactly like Blink, and the gameplay style when you use these abilities is the exact same too. Number 5, Sage's Resurrection and Mercy's Resurrection. We began this video talking about Sage, so I figured we'd also end it while talking about another blatantly copied ability. And what makes this even worse is that this is basically old Mercy meets new Mercy in one single hero with a mixture of Mei in there. It's just, Sage, man, I love you, I love Sage, she's my main, but man, is she not original. So the idea of Sage's res is exactly like Mercy, where you're able to res a dead teammate, i.e. potatoes in your game. You're not able to res yourself, just like Mercy's ultimate, but boy, oh boy, do I wish I could res myself, because there are times where I'm the potato and I need to res myself. But you are only able to get it once every couple of rounds, depending on how many kills you do get or how many orbs that you collect throughout the whole entire map. But I briefly did state that this is basically the old Mercy meets the new Mercy, because the old Mercy has res as her ultimate ability, just like Sage, but it's the new Mercy because you are only able to res one person at a given time. And how you res that single teammate is that you take your left hand with Sage, you lift it up into the air, and then their body magically comes back to life. Very similar to the Mercy res animation. But if that similarity wasn't funny enough, let me just point to the Valorant community, where there are so many people that are calling Sage's res, or just calling Sage in general, overpowered, just like Mercy back in the day. If you remember back with Mercy's old res ability, there were so many pros hating on this because it basically negated skill. You had ult combinations, you had skillful encounters, and you killed the enemy, but Mercy came flying in and basically said, nope, your skillful ways are done for. Like, I don't know why, but I find so much joy looking at the Valorant community and calling these abilities that we've been dealing with for years in Overwatch broken, overpowered, and that this is what makes Valorant a bad game. And I kind of foresaw this when I first started to play Valorant, because I looked at the CSGO-like gameplay and looked at the skill that was required, but saw the ultimates and the abilities, and how that doesn't necessarily make you a better Valorant player, but can be very annoying to actual good Valorant players that are getting kills in skillful ways. Does that make Valorant a bad game? Absolutely not. I just know it won't ever be on CSGO level, where having godlike aim is kind of one of the biggest and only requirements that you need to be able to get you by in that game. In Valorant, yeah, having godlike aim can help, but you also gotta know the abilities and how to be able to pair them up with each other and what goes good and what kind of composition, just like how you gotta worry about that in Overwatch, where Overwatch, you don't necessarily necessarily need to have godlike aim, you just gotta have good game sense. And they took both of those aspects from both of those games and put it into one single game, had a baby, and named it Valorant. But I ain't letting this new girl on the block get away with everything that she's doing. She's gonna get snitched on, and if snitches get stitches, then please kill me because I am ready to die. But ladies and gentlemen, that was 5 things that Valorant copied from Overwatch. If you want another episode, please let me know. But until then, I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.